Should a young man be required to take a young lady to an expensive restaurant on the first date? Let's hear a mother's perspective.
First restaurant he gonna take you to, what's the last restaurant your daddy took you to? Because you shouldn't be coming to him to be your daddy. That's not his role. It's a first date. I want y'all to bring that down to level 3. Y'all way on 10 with this foolishness and want to embarrass somebody. My second question is, have you ever been anywhere? Where do you take yourself? Let me see your checkbook registry. Let me log into your bank account and see what you feed yourself on a regular basis. Where do you take yourself for lunch or dinner? That's the next question I want you to answer. And then the third thing about this, come on back over here because I need you to understand what time it is. A real lady is going to be there for the purpose of what it's for. She's not looking for food because she's hungry that she can't afford so she can take it to go and get a doggy bag. I'm going to wrap this up to go. Why? You ain't going to have food tomorrow? That's a poverty mindset. So a first date, again, is to get to know the person, correct, to hang out, have fun. Y'all should be laughing and talking. It don't need to be a steakhouse. We don't even know if you worth a steak. You might just be worth a piece of bread. So ladies, young ladies, grow up. Get some maturity about yourself. Y'all buying lashes, booties, and everything else. And you want somebody else to feed you. Save your money, stop buying your body, and put it to the side so you can have some food.
So what do I mean by steak and lobster hustler? Let me give you a short story from my own life. I was all of about, I think, 18 years old, right at my freshman year of college. And there was a very attractive young lady, tall, dark, long hair, slender. She was originally from New York and had moved to the West Coast was living with some relatives, and her relatives had a very modest home that she was allowed to live in, sort of working class or lower working class neighborhood. In any case, we would talk on the phone, and at one point she got to the point that she wanted me to take her out, and I expressed to her, that really I didn't have funds to take her out, but she insisted she wanted to go out to dinner. So I eventually said, okay, well, if we could each pay our own way, then I'll take you out. And I chose somewhere that was not, this was a very economical place that people would go in the San Francisco Bay Area, in the East Bay, in Oakland. Some of you that are from the area, you might remember Merritt's Restaurant and Bakery, a place that a lot of times families would go and people would go for a modestly priced meal. And so we got to the restaurant, we sat down, ordered our food, and when the food arrived, she began to just pick over it, complain about it, gripe about the food. And she got to the point where she said, well, I'm not going to pay for it. And to my horror, I was like, I was really embarrassed because there was a very close friend of the family who was a server at the Marriage restaurant. And she wasn't our server, but I was just afraid she would hear how ridiculous this young lady was acting. I finally told the young lady, I only brought enough money to pay for my meal. So she eventually, I guess, figured out that she was going to pay for a meal. And it was like she had gotten amnesia that she was supposed to, but I guess she didn't want to have to go in the back and wash dishes to pay for that meal. And so she paid. But the conclusion of the matter was, after I took her home, I think we might have talked maybe once more on the phone. And she talked about how her relatives said she could never go out with me again. Like I was going to ask her out, that she acted so horrible. bottom line is you have some young ladies, not all of them, but some of them, their whole point of going out, or their main point, or one of their main points, is to see how much they can get a young man to spend on them. And this is really just, it's a hustle. You know, they expect, some of them, that a young man will do whatever is necessary to get the funds to take them to some lavish place. Whether the young man has to beg, borrow, or steal, as they say. These women are hustlers, and they don't care about the young man. And maybe even if they say that they have some interest in him, you don't really care about a young man if you're trying to hustle him and force him to go beyond what he can even afford. I don't know whether she expected you to use my college money or tuition to take her to some fancy place or what. But if you as a young lady, you young ladies, are not satisfied with the place a young man can afford, leave him alone. I don't care if you didn't initiate, going out. As this young lady, really pressured me to take her to dinner. Even if he initiates, if you cannot be happy and satisfied with his level of means, money, where he can afford to take you, if all he can afford is a hot dog and an ice cream cone, if you're not, that's not you, then nicely decline to go out. It's as simple as that. Don't try to hustle him and pressure him, just because you want to showboat and be some sort of wannabe celebrity or royalty. Don't hustle him, because that's going to end up in a bad situation for him, for you, for both of you. Now, for those of you that would think, well, I'm just a stingy person, as I became more successful in my career and eventually got married, you can look on my YouTube site and places that I've taken my wife as we've grown in what we're able to do. I've taken her to London, Paris, Rome, Barcelona, Miami, California. Well, we actually lived in California, but California is huge and has many, many nice places. I've taken my wife to some very nice places, West Coast and East Coast, and outside the country. But that's my wife. That's not me, spending that. Even if I was single right now with the success I've had in my career, I'm not going to spend on someone I'm dating the way I spend on my wife, who is committed to me in marriage for all our life, has helped. We've raised children together. She's been from when I started. Well, maybe not when I started. I was actually already in IT management, my second year of IT management when I met her and had bought my first house. But we've, even from that point to now, we've grown in our means, economic means, and she stuck with me. And so, you ladies who you're dating someone and you expect the same thing, it's not appropriate that you expect what a man would do for his wife, that you expect that same, economic outlay. Now, of course, if he's got means and he's able to and take you to, nice places here and there, but hey, don't expect what a wife would expect. We just did a European tour in the spring. That's not for you ladies who, your date's going to take you on cruises and trips out of the country. That's not even appropriate. All right, let me stop there.